editing tool for you later. You're welcome.
Okay,
This is so new and wild.
we're off to a start, and hey, hi, I'm so frazzled right now.
You seem a little unnerved.
I'm completely unhinged and unnerved. We got a nice breeze coming in though.
Yep.
This is Mission Stories. It's a podcast. It's on the internet, and now there's video, and you're watching the video maybe, and we can kind of see ourselves. And how does it feel to see yourself, Lyndon?
It's an old familiar feeling.
It's like I've seen this man before.
We've dabbled. Remember when we used to record stuff? What are you doing?
I want to make sure I can see all the frame. I don't want my...
What are you...
And see, you're covering up with Grogu. Do I need a pillow?
Just let it all hang loose.
You know what I found before when we used to do this a little bit more is that the audio portion would include all these references to the camera that they just can't see. So it doesn't really count for them, really. I've never sat this close to you before.
It is new. I don't know whether to make eye contact with you in the monitor.
Yeah.
Or with you right here.
You can do either one. I honestly don't mind.
If anyone's watching the video, the references make sense to them. Anyone who's just listening to the recording are just questioning why they still listen to us.
Yeah, maybe they're incentivized to come check out what is actually happening on the video too.
Yeah, we've made some business changes.
There's been a couple business changes.
Have we discussed it? Have we told anyone?
No.
All of the true and faithful?
I don't think so. But listen, it's April 19th, and a decision needs to be made soon. I mean, we could maybe even talk about this decision.
I thought the decision had been made.
It's kind of made. But I even today was thinking, I was like, maybe we shouldn't. Here's what we're talking about, folks. As you may or may not know, we've been running this program for you at the expense, at personal expense, and unfortunately, all of our attempts to acquire sponsorships have failed. And we don't have any...
That's factual.
Corporate money coming in to...
Which has been a surprise.
And we've tried... We were this close to an unnamed deli meat company sponsoring us.
I was knocking down every door downtown, every oil company.
We were like, CNOC.
No one would take a meeting.
Nexen. Yeah. Shell. Come on, guys.
Synovus.
Plains Midstream. Where are ya?
They're like, sponsor us. And they said it's not a good time.
They never friggin' did it, Lyndon. They never replied to a single one of our emails.
I didn't get in the door with one marketing director.
I didn't talk to a single CEO. Can you believe that?
I can.
Not a one. Anyway, so we've been doing this at our own personal expense for years now. 3 years.
Is it 3?
Yeah. 2018, we started in April.
I was going to say, I know April is the anniversary month.
Yeah. And we've hit the anniversary. It's past now. I think it was early April, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, back in the good old days.
Yeah, how fun was that?
See, let me tell you, a little reminiscing.
Okay.
Is some news. It was recently my father's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Shout out to Eric. And he got himself a smoker. That's his big birthday present.
Ooh.
Pellet grill. Now we barbecue.
Traeger? Joe Rogan's favorite grill?
Not a Traeger. I questioned him. I was like, you didn't get the Traeger? And he's like, Traeger's overrated. You got a Green Mountain grill.
I got a Prager.
Traeger? No way.
Prager.
Gregor. Gregor's are where it's at.
The right-wing sponsored YouTube channel. Smoker.
And I don't know why, but someone brought up some of the early episodes and the deleted episodes.
Oh, yeah?
Because part of this decision is be like, hey, folks, download the episodes while you can.
Yeah.
Because they might be going away. Like that infamous early episode that had to be deleted.
We should.
But also, wasn't it the best episode?
It was a good. I like that. That's one of my favorite stories. Unfortunately, it just simply cannot be told. Maybe we could just tell a parable of some. You could just make up a story, and we could just share that some other time. A hypothetical flight of fancy tale that has no grounds in reality, and you could tell a story sort of like that. I don't know. We should tell people what is actually going to happen. I might just hold this mic for a bit.
Okay.
What's going to happen is we don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for the hosting anymore. For basically what we get when we pay for the hosting is that it's all of the podcasts we've ever recorded are available all at once to everybody who can listen to them and download them at their leisure. It's not like a huge expense, but it's enough to be like, you know.
And there's certainly no one's listening to episodes from like 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing is like there's just simply not enough interest to like be paying money to do this anymore. I mean, like we gave it a fine shot, and
the college try,
and it's not even. We're not saying that we're not going to do this anymore. I don't know if anyone who is subscribed to the YouTube noticed, but all of the episodes have now been uploaded. The audio has been uploaded to YouTube, which is free for us and for you. And it's a much more sustainable path moving forward, and one where, you know, because that is it's a visual format, and it's it's video, right? And so that's kind of, plus I've wanted to like kind of I wanted to do this, the video, and do it for a while. So that's sort of the idea here. It's going to continue mostly on YouTube, but also, Lyndon, I don't want you to think that you won't be able to listen to the audio at all on your device or you're in a podcast sort of a way.
Please explain to me how that's going to happen, because let me tell you, I don't have a YouTube Premium account.
Right.
I can't just download YouTube videos on a whim.
And let's be clear, though, you don't need a YouTube Premium to watch this on YouTube. You just need internet access and a desire to watch this for however long we happen to do these episodes, hours on end, it seems, the more recent ones. But that's another thing. Our earlier episodes, they were kind of short. Some of them were like shorter, 45 to an hour.
Really?
Some of them, yeah. Of course, I would split them up a little bit, too. Like Braden's episode is like...
How did we get so unhinged that we would just ramble on?
I don't know.
We're off the rails.
We really are.
I think it's because we planned more early on.
There was a lot more planning. There was more to say. Well, in relation to the actual, you know, edict of our purpose being to tell actual mission stories.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Remember that?
I actually forgot about that for just a moment.
Yeah. It really has become something all on its own. And you know what? Here's the thing. I like doing it. We like doing this. I think.
Coming in and talking into a can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else is kind of fun about it? It's like this diary record of like, not just our friendship, but of just like, I don't know, just our thoughts and opinions. And it's kind of fun and interesting. If for no one else, then for me at the very least, and probably for you as well, but to go back and be like, wow, that's what I thought 3 years ago, and that's what I thought 2 years ago, and 1 year ago, and last week, and to sort of watch that progression of ideas.
Yeah, Jasmine also mentioned like we weren't even dating when we started the podcast.
You and I.
Jasmine and I.
You and your wife. That makes a lot more sense.
We had been dating. For a while.
We'd had our whirlwind romance, and the world was on fire. No, hold on. No, that's wrong.
No, that's not exactly true.
So, but yeah, you and your wife.
So I guess, you know, at the beginning of this podcast, I was just a lonely single man.
You were adrift in the woods.
No wonder I had so much to say.
Yeah.
I was just full of angst.
Anger.
And I was like, the world needs to hear what I have to say.
Listen, I got a manifesto. I got to read it. You got time for a manifesto?
Now it's like, now I have a good woman in my life, and I'm just like mellowed out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like looking for like the next good sweater I'm going to wear.
Speaking of, this sweater is really good.
It's the classic, hey, I'm in my 30s now.
I shop at Eddie Bauer.
Yeah, it's like an Eddie Bauer sweater.
Yeah, we got a lot of green going on. We got Grogu. I have a Star Wars. I got the Boba Fett green shirt on. It's all green. The couch is olive, and brown, sort of. So that's kind of fun.
Well, spring has sprung here in Calgary.
Mm-hmm. Listen, before we move on, I feel like we should close out what we were.
Did we ever finish that?
So we're on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. But you can still listen to the most current episode via audio on like SoundCloud or wherever you get your podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Only the
folks.
most current one, though, because that's what the no premium membership would allow. And it's, well, especially because our episodes are like hours long. So who even knows? I wonder if there's like a time limit. I think it's, 6 hours maybe. That's free. That's freely available. Something like that. So who knows?
So two episodes.
Maybe 2 or 3 episodes will be available at a time. They will be going up on YouTube as we go along. But that's kind of...
So always available on YouTube.
Yeah.
Only the most recent available where you listen. So for the true and faithful that are listening to these right away,
yeah,
it's business as usual.
Pretty much, yeah.
For the people that are a little slow to catch up,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to go to YouTube.
You got to go to YouTube and you got to watch a screen with the album, with the artwork of each episode. And
And you're going to have to suffer through ads every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
2 ads unskippable.
We got to make our money back somehow, okay?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. And I just feel like YouTube is, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is the sort of thing, like if we talk about Grogu, for instance, like Star Wars is a very popular, niche on YouTube.
It is.
And maybe we can sort of capitalize on that. Like, imagine, like, all of the Star Wars talk that we've talked over the months and years. That's a whole YouTube channel on its own.
Some people might want to watch that.
Some people might. Anyway, so that's sort of the big change. That's the big news. If you want to go download the audio of an episode, it's April 25th, I believe, is the last day that you can do that, or it ends on the 25th, so maybe the 24th. We'll put this out today, presumably, so which is the 19th.
Unless we say something that has to be deleted.
Yeah, so let's try to not. Plus, YouTube is a little more iffy with controversial things.
We haven't said anything controversial.
And we never have, no.
In like 18 months.
Or ever.
And
maybe those...
I feel like there might have been some controversy early on.
And maybe those things got deleted and re-uploaded without the controversial things.
We're by the book these days.
Listen, we learned our lessons. Gosh darn it.
We don't fool around.
I don't fool around, and neither do you.
We just get like messages after every episode.
Yes, speaking
like,
of...
What did you mean by this?
We have a few things to address mail-wise. This is like a kind of a housekeeping episode almost. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's spring. It's spring cleaning.
That's right. That is right. So we're cleaning out our closets, as old Marshall Mathers would say. Eminem, as you may or may not know him by.
The rap artist.
And he's from Detroit, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. So anyway, where do we want to go from here, Lyndon? I know we have one other thing to discuss, and then it's like we're kind of out to sea at drift.
Then we freestyle.
But I do want to have a fun episode. I want this to be a fun episode, Lyndon.
It's a lot of stress.
And if it isn't fun...
If it's not fun...
I want it to be at least meaningful.
If it's not fun, we're going to delete it and do it again until it's fun.
And and the whippings will continue until it's fun. All right, should we read an email?
So we got one email.
We have like 2.
Okay.
We have like an email that...
email, a message. I got some messages that I suppose we should clear up.
Yeah, we should clear those up.
First, last, never, I don't care.
What is this?
An extra email?
Oh, okay.
More messages?
Oh, this is my personal email. I shouldn't read those out loud.
Let's hear it.
It was like, you're going to jail. What? Just kidding.
They send that in an email.
You get an email. You're going to prison. The
results are in. You're guilty.
Turns out you're going to prison.
That'd be a rough email.
So we got kind of 2 emails. I would just want to throw... Actually, I feel like it's the reconciliation and, it's the episode for just clearing up our affairs and starting afresh on YouTube with joy and happiness.
Clear direction.
Yeah.
Probably not.
So should I just go ahead and get going on these?
Yeah.
Well, first of all,
You're in charge here. You're still the senior companion.
Am I in charge?
Does it feel like you're in charge?
Do you feel in charge? Andrew Cacao is one of our very most true and our very most faithful. We're really doing this whole podcast for I don't know, 15 to 20 people.
I love that.
It's great.
And then there's the 15 to 20 people outside of that don't care.
Yeah.
And hardly listen.
And we love them too. And they're just as
So there's
important.
the true and faithful.
They mean just as much to us.
The hardly can be bothered.
Yeah.
And then people that don't listen.
I think you're describing our new Patreon tiers. True and faithful hardly can be bothered and don't listen. And that's the free tier. Should we start a Patreon, Lyndon?
No.
Okay.
We've been
we've tried that.
We've been on that bridge, underneath that bridge. We've crossed that bridge.
Yeah. Okay, I just don't mind.
Andrew Cacao.
A true and faithful who we seem to have ignored, and I don't even mean to ignore the man, but and we love him. We love you, Andrew. Do we not?
It's true.
You're one of our people that emails us. So thank you.
I forgot to tell Andrew. I might go visit him in June. Unless COVID kills us all.
And there is a third wave we need to talk about.
Ugh.
But before we do that, let's read his email. He says, I write emails and emails and emails, and you just read Alex Williams. What the fetch? I thought we were friends.
What is up with that?
That we only read Alex's emails?
Andrew doesn't email us. Doesn't he message us?
He'll message, yeah.
Does he shoot an email every now and then?
Yeah, you should know that messages are off the record, except for the ones that we put onto the record sometimes.
Yeah. Andrew, no, it's not my fault. I don't have access to the emails, or else I'd read them. It's all Troy's fault.
Sometimes I read them and I think, oh, cool. And then it's like you answer in your head sort of a thing, and then you forget that you answered, and then you just never kind of bother. He says... Though he also says, I'm interested to hear more about Lyndon not paying tithing. I think you did kind of explain that on a previous episode, though.
Did I scoff at the idea of paying tithing?
You said, I don't pay tithing.
Tithing?
Tithing. No, but then you explained that you don't really, right now you're in school and that your wife pays tithing, so you're kind of covered by that.
Yeah. My fire insurance should hold up because I'm on my spouse's policy.
When Jesus comes back, he just have a flamethrower and he's just like, show me your documents. And then your current temple recommend. He doesn't need a flamethrower.
Yeah, I haven't made money in years.
That's pretty cool, man.
I'm off the grid, yo. Well, I have, made money, none that the government or the church knows about.
You shouldn't say that out loud on a internet show.
With a CRA agent.
You're going to CRA prison, and I will take
What's the
payment.
statute of limitations on that?
1 year.
I thought once the tax year is over, they can't come back for that.
I need to specifically say I do not speak for any government agency at all. So,
but he said I'm in the clear. So,
I just want to say that we love Andrew Cacao. Thank you so much for all your emails.
If he wants some
your good vibes,
some hot take about me not paying tithing, it's my wife pays tithing.
Yeah,
for me. In fact, she even paid tithing on a scholarship I got. I was furious.
That's it.
I was like, that's non-taxable.
The church needs those funds, Lyndon.
Yeah, I guess. That's my thoughts on that. She's like, I paid tithing on your scholarship, and I was like,
she's a good woman. You're like, oh, and then you went and did some push-ups because you were mad.
No.
You ever done push-ups because you were so mad?
I have rage clean the dishes.
Nice.
I can clean the kitchen in rage.
Yeah. You're allowed to.
Yeah. It's like I'll channel that rage because it's like I don't like, cleaning the kitchen, doing the dishes.
Who does?
I don't like it. So if I'm angry, can't get more angry.
And it's just gonna sort of be a little outlet for you.
And then it turns out that then in the end you've accomplished something.
And it's like a creative outlet almost.
Yeah.
To clean dishes, to vacuum, to sweep.
It's taking chaos and turning it into order.
Yeah. As our good friend Red Skull says.
Yeah.
Get it?
I was giving you a segue into doing a Jordan Peterson impression.
My completely inaccurate. Since he's kind of come back from his absenteeism, his little hiatus, his situation. I saw someone else do this sort of spot-on accent or impression of him. He kind of talks up here, and it's like I go full on, you know.
Yeah, you've got like the Kermit in a bayou with a banjo.
Yeah.
Whereas he's a little more higher register.
He just talks. He talks a little higher up, like this, and you have to understand. It's a hell of a thing. Clean your room. Anyway, so that's
Red Skull.
Red Skull. Someone compared him to Red Skull. That's that.
A Marvel comic book writer.
Yeah.
Caused quite the stir.
But it's like, yeah, like his whole thing is like clean your room, make your bed. And it's like, oh, is that a Red Skull thing, or is he all about making your bed, or what?
No. Well, the controversy, as far as I can tell, I've actually tried to step away from old Jordan Peterson.
You OD'd on him.
Yeah, it got to be too much. Though this was funny that like a Marvel comic books like clearly made Red Skull. Isn't Red Skull supposed to be kind of like a Nazi or something?
Basically a Hitler.
Yeah, he was like
worse than Hitler.
Yeah, he was like the Nazis but worse.
He's like an extremist Nazi. The Nazis were like, "Oh, I don't know about Red Skull."
Yeah, if I remember correctly from my vast Marvel knowledge, the Nazis were like, "I think these Hydra people are a little too much."
Yeah.
So yeah, the Marvel people made some very clear resemblances and connections between Red Skull and Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Which was a little absurd, but it's within their right.
It's art, dude.
Yeah.
People can do.
And he latched onto it hard. Because then he got like these logos, like
I don't know about that,
like the Hail Lobster logo, and it was like for charity.
He's like, he's finally just like, I'm gonna lean into being sort of the villain.
What? There was
the neo-Nazi ultra devil
fascist.
He's like, you think I'm fascist? Buy my merch. It's lobster themed.
I mean, at least he wasn't making profits off of it, so that's good. But
should we? So we got another email. This is an interesting.
We didn't finish Andrew's email, did we?
We did.
Oh, that was it. He just wanted to hear about why I don't pay tithing.
Yeah.
Oh, because Jasmine does it for me.
Yeah. Alex Williams. This is such a strange thread of emails. I'm wondering if we just not read it, but like explain it. Maybe I don't even know.
Well, I haven't seen it, so you got to read some of it.
Okay, it's like, and Alex, I'm sorry if you didn't want this to be read. You shouldn't. You knew better than to email.
Well, I mean, you got to put disclaimer, right? Because you used some discretion and you didn't read an email from someone, and then they're like, "Why didn't you read that?" And it's like, "Oh, I thought you wouldn't want that."
It was awful and not meant for public consumption. That's why. No, not that this isn't. It's just kind of interesting. So apparently, like, I don't even remember when this would have been. I guess off of the episode right after he was most recently with us.
And he was our last guest, right?
Yeah.
We got to do more guests. They cause us a stir.
They do. People like the guests, I think.
They're sick of us.
They hate us. They love the guests. Let's learn our lesson, shall we?
More guests.
So he, and then the guest would sit right there. Or wherever Grogu's sitting.
On my lap.
The guest sits on your lap.
We share a mic.
Yeah.
And I just kind of peek over their shoulder when I want to say something.
And when you don't like what they're saying, you kind of squeeze them a little harder.
Hey, ease off.
Like, shut up about tithing.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear about Jordan Peterson anymore. I'm done with him.
I'm not done with Jordan Peterson.
Well, it sounded like you were. So let's talk about Alex sent. So to give us the context, the episode I think right after, because
there's always like the guest episode, then the next one is the fallout of the guest episode.
yeah, the thing where they're like they completely regret ever coming on the show. We have to sort of mend bridges and that sort of thing, and that's happened once or twice, 3 or 4. I don't even know.
Not 5 times.
We've had a good
less than 5.
We had a good run of guests for a long time. I really dove into all the episodes and was like, as I was putting them on YouTube, and boy, that took a lot of work, let me tell you. And
no one's paying you for that.
And no one paid me for that, but it was a labor of love. No, but so like the episode right after that most recent one where he talks about like coming out as not a member of the church anymore, or a non-believer, an apostate, if you will.
Yes. Not a heretic.
Unbeliever.
Not a heretic, but an apostate.
Right. So after that episode, we were just talking to Alex, and I think, and I mentioned this on the episode, I was like, I guessed something sort of about Alex that was just like so unfathomably, like, how could I have ever guessed that thing? And I still feel like I shouldn't say exactly what we were trying to guess, though, because it's kind of a...
Oh, yeah. Now that we're recording, all my like silent, like where I'm like...
Yeah, now they're going to make...
Everyone can see when I'm like giving you signals.
All
now.
the sense in the world. So just let it be known that it's like, it's a thing. So okay.
I don't think you need to explain it. Well, maybe you do.
Kind of I do, though, because here's the thing.
You were like, I guessed something.
I said,
and it was unbelievable.
And people have gone to Alex, and they've started to be like,
what?
Did he guess that you're gay? Like, was that the thing he guessed, and that he's not telling the rest of us is that he guessed that you're gay, which he's not.
What?
Like, surprised. So he said, and this is sort of where we can pick this up again. He says, and the subject line is very important email. Note, when I got this email, I was like, oh my gosh, a very important email. And then I read it, and I was like, this is a very important email. And so I'm like...
The subject line wasn't a joke.
No. He said, Troy announced on the show, but I think after, you'll see as time goes on, there was a little irony drenched in this. He says, Troy...
Since nothing about this podcast is important.
No. Yeah. This isn't important. I keep on looking at the monitor, but I think the actual eye of the camera is where I ought to be looking, so I apologize. Anyway, very important email. Alex says, Troy announced on the show that he guessed something about me, and now people are asking if I'm gay. What Troy guessed about me has nothing to do with my sexuality, in case anyone else was confused. Actually, okay, so...
Wait, so he doesn't say he's not
yeah,
gay.
that's what I'm like, oh, and I said, like, he's not gay, but it's like, I don't know if and I don't want to, like...
He neither confirm nor denies that.
I don't want to, like, say anything about anyone's anything.
I don't want to talk about it.
I really want to steer away from controversy, Lyndon. I can't handle it. My little heart can't handle it.
No.
He goes, I go on to say, oops.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is a thread. So this is a thread.
I said
so he wants us to announce the thing you guessed about him had nothing to do with his sexuality.
I guessed a thing that is like impossible. It was like a 1 in a million thing to guess, and I guessed it. Not like, are you
Stop
gay?
saying now people are gonna keep.
They want to know.
They're gonna keep up with all the conjecture. And
I'm trying to think
whatchamacallit.
I'm trying to think of something else I could tell them, but like it wasn't.
You need to give him a red herring at this point.
I know. I'm trying to think of a good red herring. What
he
could
guessed
it be?
His favorite 6 combinations of pizza toppings in order.
It's like
the probability of that happening is like
very low.
1 in 6 million.
Or it's like if I guessed his middle name without having any idea what his middle name was. Like, what if I just said, "Is your middle name something?"
Well, that's not that hard.
But it's also like
you could just like throw in any sort of like white
or I guess
Anglican biblical name. Like, is your middle name Bob?
But it's also like, what if I guessed a nickname that someone gave him one time? You know what I mean? But also one that was random and had nothing to do with anything about him. So it's like if he was really good at chess or checkers, you know, people would call him the checker king.
I did. We're saying too much.
Yeah. Anyway, that's.
I was gonna say it, and I guessed his, and it was gonna be a hint.
And you're, you need to stop.
And I'm trying to slow this roll.
Slow the roll, dude. So I said to him, he said. He sends this.
So he's saying
email.
You didn't guess that he's gay, but
No.
he's not saying he's not.
He's not saying anything about his sexuality,
now
which we're going to respect here. And then I say, "Oops," and I have like 100 exclamation points. And then I say, "We will." And that "oops" is a lot more weird when I say it out loud.
Oops.
And maybe it was less appropriate than it seemed in the email.
Anyway.
I said, "Oops, we will clarify ASAP. Very sorry." 2 exclamation points. And then what does he say? I think I said another thing. What else did I say? Oh, I said, also, do you know what was said that made people think that? I remember joking about your testimony and comparing you to the killer, LOL. Sorry, by the way, all in good fun. But I don't know where people would get that from.
Oh, and then he had to explain where they got it from.
Yeah, and then he says, ha 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 ha, no. I thought it was all funny, so thank you for clarifying. And then he says, it was when we were talking about, but weren't saying that's what it was. So I had someone ask if it was my sexuality. And he does like the little XD face where it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like. So hopefully the tone of my email wasn't too bad. I was mostly being sarcastic. Just thought it was funny because it caused a little mystery. Oh, and then he says, "Don't have to correct it. Just giving you a hard time."
That's what I'm saying. We can ride this controversy now.
So he's created controversy, and thank you for the content. And he's like, "Don't have to correct it. Just giving you a hard time. I like the jeering. Good. We will continue to jeer then. Also, should probably do that episode with Cheryl Naglis someday.
Oh yeah,
we should. You could sit on her lap. A son on his mother's lap, just like when you're a baby.
I will be Grogu.
You will play Grogu here.
Okay,
so that's solved.
That's not our fault. That's his fault.
And our fault. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I think it's because people, it's almost like, are like, I hope he's gay. Because then we can like root for him.
Being gay is such a nothing thing now, you know?
Well, not in the church.
I guess you're right. But he's not in the church,
the world,
technically.
Yeah,
anymore.
So it's like it's like nothing, but at the same time, it's everything.
It's a juicy little piece of gossip for like a moment, and then it's like, anyway, so like, what's for lunch, you know?
Right.
So
because then we can be like, yeah, we were first on ground zero.
Yeah. We don't know.
And we supported him the hardest.
We did, and we do.
And we did, and we do.
I like how
I want the virtue points.
You'll get them. Where's Dumbledore?
And it's like, even if he's straight at this point, the fact that we supported him potentially being gay, we're modern day saints.
It kind of makes up for everything we've ever done that is sort of
unsavory,
bad.
So thank you for that, Alex.
Punishable by law.
Yeah.
So thank you, Alex, for emailing in, helping us to clarify what's what. Do we have other things?
Oh, fine, I guess. The next
controversy.
We went into a little fanciful storytelling about an anonymous figure named Michael that was disbarred and sent to jail for his,
scrupulous against humanity,
lawyering.
He's wanted at The Hague.
And some people were like, hey, don't you guys know a Michael that was a lawyer? And they're like, oh my gosh, did he go to jail and I didn't know about it because there's a pandemic? And when people go to jail, they try to hide it. So we're not saying, no one knows who Michael is.
No. It could
Except
be
for the
anybody.
people that know exactly who Michael is.
The small circle of friends, the only people who really listen to this who would all know who he is. Yeah.
And they're like, wait, he went to jail? And I have to be like,
no.
But also I don't want to say no.
See, that's where you need to repent, though, Lyndon, because you can't. You can joke on here because this is a comedy show. This is for fun.
Yeah.
And it's also a show where we talk about very serious things too.
And we make light of serious things.
And then we walk that little line. Yeah. But
we
in
walk,
real life.
And we walk the little line and then we walk back.
We walk it back.
A lot of things we say.
Most things, yeah.
So Michael didn't go to jail, to my knowledge.
He's alive and well. We didn't say he's dead, but he is alive and well as far as we know.
I think he's alive.
Yeah. He did reach out to, I think he reached out to me. Did he reach out to you?
No.
I guess he likes
so
me
that was
a
my
little
my
more.
question is, I don't think he listens to this, which is why I used this as an opportunity to slander him.
Yeah.
And the deep, dark history of him refusing to be on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Michael went to prison.
He's in Mission
Prison
Stories
in my heart.
jail. Yeah, he's in prison. He can't pass go right now because he refuses to be on the show.
Yeah, he's no longer our legal counsel.
No.
Because he's mean.
He's a pig meanie. No, we love him. We love everyone.
But yeah, he reached out to you.
Yeah, he's like, very funny joke, Troy and Lyndon. He said, you're so funny. And I said, thank you, Michael.
You should come.
Thank you.
You should come on the podcast to help us tell jokes.
Tell us how funny we are on air.
And so then if then everyone will know he's not in prison.
Yeah, he does like a little screen. We put a little screen of him, and he's like, from jail.
And then I'm gonna like put a little fork up to the camera so it looks like he's in jail.
It looks like he's in jail. Of course, it would put all of us in jail, but whatever.
Well, you try to aim it just right.
You just put it right in front.
I'd figure it out.
Put a pitchfork just in front of his face.
You'd be like, Michael's in jail.
You're in jail. And people think we're insane, legally insane. Like that we think that they would think that would work.
But to clarify, Michael's not in prison.
Not in prison.
Or he was texting you from his prison phone.
Yes.
That he had to sneak in there
Yeah.
up his butt.
And he has to, I'm just like,
no, we have to stop. We have to stop.
Do we keep going with the specifics of how Michael uses his prison phone and how deep into that wormhole do we get?
We have a new podcast called Michael's Prison Stories. We're like, hey guys, we got another message from Michael straight from prison.
And he's like,
let's update you.
He's just like, we'll be going about his day, and he'll just be like, doo-doo-doo, and he'll be like, oh, feel a little vibration in his like lower intestine, and then he has to like, give me a moment, guys, and then he goes to the bathroom for half an hour, I don't know, however long that takes, and then he messages us through it's in like a little Ziploc bag. Okay, that's enough.
We've gone
We
too
did it.
far.
Can I?
But message us if you want to hear, stories about Michael in prison.
Can I also just make a personal proclamation?
Please.
I just want to give the love. I want to shout the love out to Dave Hyatt.
Oh, okay.
I want to shout him out.
Dave, best in the biz, Dave Hyatt.
Best in the biz, Dave Hyatt.
We've always said he's best in the biz.
So I did a thing on an episode or two ago so it's like we had the controversy with what's her name?
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune. What's her real name?
Gina Carano.
So we put the picture up, and then there was a little bit of a kerfuffle because she's been in the news about some things, and she's not too popular, and
she's very popular with some people.
We're pro Gina. We like Gina here.
We do.
Some people don't. Dave Hyatt was one of the people who commented and just like, yeah, she can, take it or leave it, whatever. She's not a.
She can take a hike.
Yeah, and then I was like, I got my little feelings hurt because like someone.
Because of your personal feelings for her.
Doesn't like Gina Carano. And then like I talked about this on an episode, the next episode,
Yep.
And we talked about it all except without saying his name, Dave Hyatt, who was one of the people. And I think that was, and I didn't mean to not say his name.
I think it was one of those, if people wanted to learn, we're not trying to, what's the word, dox?
I don't want to dox anybody.
We're not trying to dox people.
I think he wants to be doxed, though, and I think we should. And we're just going to put that here because it makes a little sound every time his ear touches the cord. So,
anyway, he had a response.
He was just like, hey, guys, listen. Say my name. And then I was like, Heisenberg. And he's like, you're gosh darn right. Something like that.
You're gosh hopping right.
But I'm just like, you know what? You're right. We shout out we shout out one person continuously, and his name is Alex Williams, and that needs to stop.
And I get sick of it so much.
And we don't shout out any other of our loyal and loved fans. And Dave Hyatt's one of them.
It's
Andrew
like
Cacao is
the gosh
one.
darn squeaky wheel.
Who else should we
It gets
call
the
out?
grease.
I know. The squeakiest wheels get the grease, and I'm sick of it.
Jace, Caleb.
Jace, Caleb. Let's repeat this.
I think Shane.
Jensen in somewhere. I don't know where he is.
Does Jensen listen to this?
He'll come out of the woodwork sometimes, and he'll say, good ep, for Alex's episode. He's like, good ep. People love that episode. They love the juicy drama.
We need to conjure up some more of it.
We need him to come out of some other closet that he's in. Like, maybe he's a secret
he comes out and he's
communist or something.
Ooh, yeah.
He's like, I am a member of the Communist Party.
And we're like, let's get into that.
Yeah. So we need some more juicy guys. If you have something to confess, think of us like your bishop, like your ecclesiastical leader. And then you're like, hey, I'm not looking to get excommunicated here, Troy.
Yeah, I'm not, what's her name? Well, yeah, if you've obviously heard about that.
No.
Here we go. There's what's a Mormon? I will not call her a Latter-day Saint. That's up for debate.
Hey, come on.
A Mormon sex therapist.
What's her name? Is she well known?
Well, yeah. I mean, she's the one that went out and because disciplinary councils are very private.
Yes.
But she was like, I got a disciplinary council. I guess because she's a member of the church. She's a sex therapist. She deals with clients in Utah, and she's just like, looking at porn and masturbating is perfectly normal and healthy.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah. She's like, it's part of a healthy, normal development.
Right.
People are like, this makes me feel better about myself.
Right.
And then the church is like, and I think she's also like pro-gay marriage. So the church is like, we don't appreciate you holding these views. Allegedly. Okay. I don't know what they tell her in those councils. So now people are coming out. She was on that other Something Stories podcast with old Johnny Boy.
Hi, I'm John DeLynn. Welcome to Mormon Stories.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell my sketch idea with that?
I think so.
And someone and a guy who's an expert in, Book of Mormon geography comes on. And then the moment John DeLynn is like, okay, so let's talk about the Heartlands model. Obviously, there's two different models. And the guy's like, wait, what? What do you mean there's two different models? And he didn't know anything about the thing he's an expert in. Shakes his testimony. He leaves the church.
John DeLynn gets excommunicated
and it's
again for it.
Funny. Anyway, should we cut that out? When Troy's jokes fail.
I mean, it's not my favorite sketch idea.
Some super cut of all those. Okay, so tell me about this lady, though. I don't know. Where did you hear this from? Is she your
social
sex
media
therapist?
Social media. No.
You're like, I wish.
There was literally how you can do Facebook temporary profile pictures?
Yep.
I saw, some certain, I don't know what you call them, ex-mos, prog-mos, being like, I feel like her name's Natasha Helfer. I could be 100% wrong. And now, all the Natasha Helfers are going to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you
Stop.
Fool. Should we actually put some...
Jamie, bring it up.
Due diligence here. Mormon?
Due diligence is what we do in the next episode after we've been called out for, bringing up a topic.
Mormon
and then
sex.
stumbling through it with very little information.
I put it in Mormon sex. The third thing was offenders.
Oh, no, I was right.
Mormon sex therapist.
Natasha Helfer, Latter-day Saint, sex therapist, faces excommunication over views on sexuality.
Natasha Helfer.
Yeah, and then Natasha Helfer, Post-Disciplinary Council, Mormon Stories podcast, 3 hours long.
I want to listen to that now. What's that sound?
I was just trying to inform you. I feel like sometimes I just want to make you aware of something, and then you're like, I don't know. I think I was hoping you knew everything about it. Now we're learning as we go.
Um,
So that's in the church newsies.
Okay.
That's part of the culture people are talking about.
I was going to ask you about.
General conference. I don't know.
I didn't catch it this time.
Or the last time.
What's wrong with me?
This
Lyndon?
year, 6 months apology to Cheryl Naglis.
I'm sorry, Cheryl. Cheryl.
I think I predicted that. I was just like, on the next episode, Troy will once again be apologizing for not watching General Conference.
Cheryl, I'm sorry. And to my own mother, I think she's a little more... My mom is a little more lenient, maybe, on me because I'm her son. And she loves me more than your mom does.
I would agree with that assessment.
That's probably true, yeah.
I think that it's true.
I have the best mom. Okay, so tell me about... Actually, I kind of don't care. I mean, you said there was... Give me like the most controversial... Give me the juiciest little drop of venom gossip from General Conference. Were there any shouters?
No. Well, it's COVID protocol. The only people in the room are the brethren.
Can you imagine if someone was still...
In.
Yeah.
They let one protester like Zoom.
Yeah.
He's like on a laptop just there. Like, no.
No, and he's still far away. Like
he's in the back of the theater.
You can't quite hear him.
And they're just like noted.
And then you just hear like a, and then he like, and then they drag him off to jail.
I think the big highlight: 20 temples were announced.
Too many temples? Did they got too many temples now?
Oh, yeah, I know. They're like Helena, Montana.
Come on.
One in Wyoming. I was like, there's no members out there.
Are they doing like mini temples now?
I think they are probably gonna be smaller.
I know with Hinckley, he was the creator of the mini temple.
The cookie cutter.
Yeah.
That's our Edmonton, Alberta temple.
That's right. Calgary got a nice temple.
Oh yeah.
That's a good temple.
Quality.
And it's unique. It's got some little pieces of wheat here and there.
Yeah, you've said too much.
And I will be taken away. There's like a knock at the door. It's like, that's your second strike, buddy.
And you know you only get 2.
Yeah, you know the saying, 2 strikes, you're X'd. They give me my like letter of excommunication.
You're like, anyone could have seen that in the open house. They're like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it was fine to mention then.
Afterwards, we don't talk about the wheat.
Don't discuss the wheat.
Yeah, it's got a nice little motif.
Secret and sacred.
The sacred wheat.
The sacred wheat. That's us, Lyndon.
Yeah.
We're not a chaff.
No. The wind's not blowing me away.
I'm friggin' on the friggin' thing.
I'm rooted in.
I'm rooted in the soil. Anyway, what was... Oh, so they announced 20 temples, and that's too many, we've decided.
Well, yeah, I'm just like, who's going to that?
Who are these for?
I was like, no one even lives there, let alone members of the church.
How about this? They give us all a dividend.
That'd be quite the announcement.
Can you imagine? My dad would just be like...
But then only Jasmine would get one.
Yeah, that's true. Because it has to be like as much as you paid in, right? Like it's not equal proportion. It's like... And that was just straight up a publicly traded stock. Like,
how would you stop the fraud on that? I just start sending in all these false tithing receipts.
Yeah.
I was like, how long is it going to take them to root that out? Not enough time before I get my dividend.
And then you you cash it. Always cash it.
And then I pay tithing on that cash.
Yeah, back to the church.
Yes.
Only 5% though.
That would be very criminal.
No, we don't want that.
Let's see. No, President Nelson, his opening address I thought was very nice.
Okay.
He kind of reviewed the Salt Lake Temple renovation and how there's like, trees getting plucked up and there was a fountain with a crack in it.
A crackhead in it?
Maybe at one point. But just like
They're like, we're clearing out the crackheads, okay?
No more crackheads on Temple Square.
We've decided.
We've got a special sweep. A special broom.
I can't wait for whatever this word is going to be.
We got a special broom to sweep them up.
Sweep up the crackheads. And it's like, it's got like a little, a little needle on it. That's like how do you take crack? I actually don't know.
I think you can take it any way you want.
Any which way. That's what's so great
I think
about
you can
it.
smoke it, snort it, inject it.
Anything you like.
I think it's very versatile.
It's a very versatile drug. This episode brought to you by crack. Just kidding.
Therefore, brought to you by the CIA. No, the one of the fountains in Temple Square, I think in front of church headquarters, had a bit of a crack in it, and it was leaking.
From all those kids running on it.
Maybe.
Running around having fun.
Yeah. His point was, even, the temple, you got to clear out some of the debris.
Yeah.
And he's like, and we're temples, and sometimes there's debris in our life that we got to clear out.
Ooh, I like that.
And I was like, yeah. That was my favorite takeaway. It was also the first takeaway.
What's your debris? Your stomach.
Yeah.
You're like, I eat literal garbage.
I need to clear that debris.
And I need a friggin', I was going to say colonoscopy, but that's not what I'm thinking of. What's the one where they really clean you out? An enema? A coffee enema?
No, that's something else. That's like a Vietnam first aid thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
How hot is the coffee, do you think? They just like bring a cup of Starbucks in. What was I going to say before?
So clearing out the debris in your life.
Well, you got to start paying tithing. That's number one.
Jasmine pays my tithing.
What about when you start making money, Lyndon? What then?
Jasmine will pay it.
Back pay. You have to retroactively pay all the time.
No.
You should have been paying this whole time.
I won't do it.
Okay.
If the government can't get it, the church can't get it.
The angels are like, okay, duly noted, Lyndon.
No, there is no money that I have not paid.
They're not getting my money.
I'm all tithed up.
I'm tithed up.
It's not like I've not been making money as a protest to the church or anything.
What a way to protest. You're like, I refuse to make money.
They're like, you want 10%? What's 10% of zero?
You're like those deadbeat husbands who like refuse to work so they don't have to pay alimony.
Or child support.
That's you. But with God. God's your... not your wife. Anyway.
Not paying child support.
We used to be a lot more blasphemous on this show, weren't we?
I don't know. I think it's been pretty even keeled. I think you've gotten out of hand. That's right. I'm throwing
me.
I'm putting you right under the bus so I can drag you out and look like the hero.
What have I done?
I'm here to. I can't think of specifics.
It didn't happen.
You're right.
We have been a lot more careful, I think. We made enough like blunders. I don't want to get in trouble.
We've never gotten in trouble.
Just from ourselves. Our own conscience. Our consciousnesses.
The Spirit, the Holy Ghost. Just call it what it is.
Our consciousnesses.
The third member of the Godhead chastises us regularly.
Yeah, he whips us with chains.
He's the third member of the podcast.
He's like, hey, good episode.
Think about what you said.
Think upon your sins.
Yeah.
Dirtbags. And then he rides off on his motorcycle.
Oh, and then and this is another one of the things where it's like, I don't want to dox someone. And then I'm probably going to get a message after this episode that's like, why didn't you say my name? But one listener had some issues with Elder Anderson's talk. Ooh. And he wanted me to talk it out with him.
Okay.
And then we never met up to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because Elder Anderson was very pro-life in his talk.
Wait, pro-life. Wait, which one are we?
That's the one. What's the official stance of this podcast?
Let's keep it vague and uncontroversial.
I don't think there's a lot. What do I know, actually? I was about to say, there's not a lot of pro-choice people listening to this podcast. And I was like,
they probably all are pro-choice.
I am very pro-choice. Pro making the right choice.
Life. pro-life.
So yeah, which I mean, he's just reiterating the church's position,
Yeah.
which is very pro-life.
And it's like you didn't, and I would say to this person, you didn't know that was like the church's position? The conservative church's position is obviously going to be pro-life.
They're like, if you're pregnant and you're not married, please give the baby up for adoption.
Right.
If you're pregnant and you're married,
please give the baby up for adoption.
Please raise the baby in righteousness.
Right.
That's like, those are like their big options. And, and I mean, there was like this little progmo that had this very long Twitter thread a year or two ago about how, like, because the talk is like, he's speaking directly to women. He's like, women, don't get abortions.
Right.
And then, like, women are always like, how come men are never involved in the conversation?
Wait, we're almost out of battery, Lyndon.
What?
Should we take a little break?
In the middle of my smortion discussion?
And we'll be right back with more Schmorshman. I keep looking at the monitor. All right, be right back. Hold on.
Way back.
Clap, 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 clap. And we're back. Okay.
Hey.
So we were talking about
Elder Anderson.
Abortion. Okay, let's get back to it.
And during that little break, I did a little research
Oh, good.
about the controversy.
Okay.
Because I'm not well versed.
Not yet.
I mean, I was just getting prepared to reiterate the church's position.
Yep.
It doesn't like abortion. But the juxtaposition that people were concerned with is, I believe it was Elder Renland.
Uh-huh.
He gave a talk about how we need to stop casting stones at people.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it's like, stop casting stones at people, and even try to catch stones that are tossed at people. If you see someone casting stones, catch that stone. And then don't throw it back.
Throw it
Just
back at them.
No, drop it.
As hard as you
Put
can.
it in your pocket. Carry it with
Pin
you the
them
rest.
to the ground.
Make
bash
make them eat the rocks they were throwing.
Make them wish they never even knew what a rock was.
If you can't get it with reason, get it with force.
Get it with the only other way. Yeah, might is right. And then and this is all metaphorical idea. That's with ideas.
So Elder Renland's like, don't cast stones, catch stones. And then Elder Anderson's like, don't get abortions. Abortions are bad.
Catch abortions.
I don't know about that.
Did Anderson have like a... Did he have like a...
It wasn't even his whole talk. It was just like a little 2-minute segment.
Did he have like a catchphrase that... we're like... Oh my gosh, we're just so...
Have we never done this before?
I've never done this before, Lyndon. You know what I need is like 13 terabytes of extra storage. I've just completely... Anyway.
Is that red saying we're out? We're done for.
It was like we're almost out of space on my my computer, but
have we been talking too much?
what's the time? It's 8:30. I'm not talking too much.
Not enough.
Not if we talk loud, we can fit more information into
The camera's freaking out. The camera's like, I can't record you this long. Your computer's like, I can't listen this long.
Well, you know what? We can get this sorted out for next time, and we can be even smoother. But I think this is a pretty good. And how about this? If we just end, then we just end.
It cuts us off, it cuts us off. And then if people have questions, then they're like, hey, you literally never finished that thought you were on.
Should we just like end it now, like technically, but then just keep going until whenever we want? That's a bad way to do it.
We've been doing this long enough to know that's not the way to do it.
Let's just keep risking it then.
See what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe finish our thought, then cut all this out.
So abortions.
Right.
No, I was going to say...
saying, the point is, they're like, he's casting stones at women who have chosen to have abortions.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's like they're not even considering what women go through to have an abortion. And it's like, okay, but also he's just reiterating the position. It's like, please stop.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I was kind of hoping that Anderson would come up with sort of a catchy little, like how the other guy did, catch stones, not throw stones. Catch, what does he say? Don't cast stones, catch stones.
Yeah.
And then Anderson was going to be like, don't have abortions.
Have
Abort-
adoptions.
Abort your bad ideas.
Yeah.
Abort, and then he he goes on to like say all the things you should abort. He's like, abort sin, abort the urge to look at pornography, abort listening to Mormon stories. Okay, we're back.
See, before we could just play back the audio and start from where we left off. Now we gotta start off with video. This complicates things so much. Clappity clap clap clap.
Okay, so we were on such a good little roll there.
Technical difficulties.
Can we just have you say the thing? Now we got two monitors. Can you just say the thing that you said? Yeah, we've had some difficulties, folks, and I'm sorry. And
Right, we were.
we got probably 30 minutes of video left, by the way.
Well, I got to go to bed soon anyway.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Adopt. We were rolling. We were riffing and rapping.
I was like, abort sin, abort this, and then
and
you're
he's like,
like,
and he's like, and then he said, adopt. Listening to the Mission Stories podcast.
yes, something like that.
But no one will laugh now.
Because it kind of ruins it, doesn't it?
The timing was off. That's all
Yeah.
comedy is.
That's all it is.
Because this gosh darn technology is ruining our flow.
Yeah.
The flow's gone. We don't even remember what we were talking about.
Listen, next time
Everyone was probably uncomfortable with what we were talking about.
they're probably glad that the technology failed.
And the one person that really wanted us to get into this topic so that they could really, wrap their head around how they need to feel about it.
Yeah.
They probably got nothing out of it.
Yeah, they don't care.
Sorry about it.
Should we switch topics here?
Yeah, it got heavy. We tried to make light of it. Technology failed. How about that Jake Paul fight?
Are we gonna get in trouble for that? Yeah, Jake Paul. I listen. I kind of like Jake Paul.
You're a monster.
I kind of like the guy. He's sort of just like, he's a young guy. I like that he wins fights against people who are kind of
He fought like a 40-year-old substitute teacher.
washed up bums.
I don't know. So it's like he fought a former NBA player.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
Kicked his ass too.
It was like, hey, they're both kind of like these weird celebrities.
Yeah.
One's from YouTube. The other was a professional sport. Won the dunk contest multiple times.
Yes.
He's a well-known entity in the NBA.
So good.
He's like, why don't we fight each other for money?
Yeah.
And he won.
And he won, knocked him out. And then next he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fight a washed up MMA fighter who got, the most embarrassing KO of all time against Jorge Masvidal, who like kneed him in the face within, I think, 1 second, 5 seconds of the fight.
Was he one of the fastest finishes of all time?
He was. I think maybe
on the wrong side of the record.
Yeah, he got finished very quickly. And so, I mean, Jake knows how to pick his opponents. He knew he was basically going to win against him, and sure enough, he did. And it was a good punch, though. It was a good 1-2 punch, and he knocked Ben
He fought
down.
like a subpar professional fighter.
Yeah.
A guy who's known for like sucking.
Known for wrestling, not for striking.
Okay.
Not for any sort of punching, So
If it was a wrestling match. So he just agreed to take this fight for money.
For the money.
He wasn't trying to win. Well, I saw his body composition. I was like, he does not look like a professional fighter.
He has really.
He looks like a human man.
Human centipede man. Yeah. the last guy on the human centipede. No, he's not a very not a great striker. Never was. Great wrestler, but that's about it.
So a bad boxer.
he had a really good career up until the UFC, and then UFC was okay, and then he had some hip issues, and then he kind of got embarrassed pretty bad, and things didn't really turn out for him, and then he retired, and then he had hip surgery, and then Jake Paul called him out, and then they fought, and then he got knocked out. Something like $1 million he got for all that, though.
Not a bad trade.
That's a good trade.
That's a good day's work.
Yeah.
And I think it was only a day's work because it doesn't look like he did any training.
He didn't train anything beyond a day, 24 cumulative hours, I'm sure.
Yeah, Jake Paul, he's learned his lesson. Wasn't it like Floyd Mayweather would always pick his fights real carefully?
Yep, I think so.
Where it's like, only fight people you can beat.
It's not a bad strategy, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, because someone was like, the thing I saw, they're like, would you fight LeBron James? And he's like, no, he's too big.
Floyd is going to fight Jake Paul's brother, Logan Paul, though.
Oh.
And so that's sort of...
Do you like Logan Paul? One of them's a real bad guy, isn't he? Isn't Logan Paul like the bad one?
Probably Jake is the bad one, more so. Logan is a little more likable, I think. Which one went to the forest in Japan? That's Logan.
Yeah, I think he's the bad guy.
He was the bad guy. He made a YouTube public apology, though.
Good for him.
So
that's all it takes.
Everything's fine.
He was sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So they're both boxers.
They're both boxers, yes.
Well, who has Logan Paul fought?
He fought another YouTuber 2 times, lost on both occasions. The second time was a bit of he got a foul for something and a penalty, a point penalty that was quite severe. And a lot of people think that, like, if not for that penalty, he would have won the fight.
Did it go to decision then?
It was, yes, decision.
Well, he shouldn't cheat then.
I'm gonna say
so they're gonna fight a third time.
Well, Logan, I don't think so, but like Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather are going to fight, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. That's going to be weird. I don't know.
And Logan Paul's going to lose, obviously.
Yeah, he'll lose. It's funny. Logan Paul has like lost all of his boxing. Jake has won all of his. Jake seems to be the better boxer. I'll say that.
Are they going to fight each other? I'm sure that's a question they get asked all the time.
Yeah, probably.
Don't they
someday.
not like each other or something?
No, they like each other fine. I mean, they go through. I'm like the expert on the Paul brothers now. You're like talking all about conference. I'm like, let me tell you about Jake and Logan Paul.
You speak to your specialty. I'll speak to mine.
So anyway, the Paul brothers, they're into NFTs and Pokemon. But the Pokemon stuff is pretty riveting, I must say. So anyway, yeah, I thought it was a decent... I am embarrassed to say I paid money to watch the fight, even though the whole...
$60?
Yeah, and like the whole...
You didn't even invite me over.
I'm sorry, I should have.
You're going to spend $60 on some ratchet YouTube fight.
Yeah.
And you're not going to invite me over.
And it was a bunch of other musical numbers too. That's what the majority of the thing was.
It sounds like a steak conference.
Yeah. And then the thing I wanted to see was...
Well, who performed?
I don't even know. The Black Keys performed.
I was like, was Dua Lipa there?
No, but...
Who'd they get?
Saweetie was there. Doja Cat was there. I actually like Doja Cat.
Don't know who that is.
I didn't either.
Sounds familiar.
But she's actually got... Of Saweetie and Doja Cat, I like Doja Cat better. She's got like there's more music to what she's putting out there. It's more rhythm and like melodic, and she's very, good at singing. Nice. I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't either.
I'm too old. I'm too old for this. I'm like, Justin Bieber?
He was there.
He was there.
He was actually there.
Okay. That's more my generation.
He's a good singer, man.
Jay Biebs?
He's good.
No one's ever questioned that.
He's like, I'm Justin Bieber.
Wait, did he perform or was he just watching the fight?
He performed.
You didn't lead with that?
No.
Jay Biebs? Our national treasure?
Ice Cube performed. It was a good day.
This was a concert.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Today was a good day.
That's nice.
And Snoop Dogg was there and some other old rappers that I didn't recognize. And Justin Bieber. Some other fights happened. Those were kind of cool. There was one guy who got he just took the biggest fall of his whole career, and it was the most obvious fall where like the guy didn't even punch him. He punched just kind of like past him, and the guy's like, "Oh," and then just like basically takes a dive and gets carted off on a stretcher. But like he literally didn't even hit him. He was getting his butt kicked the whole time up to that point. So even the announcers were like, he's probably just wants out of this fight, like an easy way out of this fight, which was embarrassing for everyone.
So it sounds like these weird boxing matches are just like a great way to like fix money.
It was a freak show, man. I'm not going to lie. The whole thing was weird and awkward to watch. It was very cringy. You appreciate how like polished and professional the UFC actually is when you watch something like this.
Was Bruce Buffer there?
Michael Buffer was there. His brother, I guess. I don't know.
They're brothers.
I am a Bruce fan though. Bruce is like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
It's time.
Man, I haven't watched a fight in years.
Yeah. The last one I watched was the UFC was the Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier #2 fight. And Conor lost, and I was like, F this. I never want to watch this again. The guy, I only want to like watch them if I have no stake in the game, because that's when I enjoy it the most.
When you're rooting for someone, it hurts you too much.
If they lose, if they win, it's awesome. It's just like Conor is not a guy you can root for anymore. He's not a guy that you can really say like with confidence that he's going to win. He loses fights. It's just what he does now. He had a really awesome tear.
He wins at business.
Yeah.
He's doing that pretty well.
But everything else, like his fights, I mean, he won against a washed up Donald Cerrone, but not a washed up, maybe a little washed up, but
not in his prime.
Definitely not in his prime. And a Donald Cerrone who probably just wasn't interested in fighting very much anymore, and has said that. He's like, I don't even like this. I don't get excited. It's funny. Dustin Poirier at the end of the second UFC fight was like, he like beats Conor, goes into to Dana White, and he's like, I don't even like doing this anymore. He literally says that in the ring. He just beat Conor. He goes like, I don't like doing this. I don't want to do this, but
he's having his exit interview.
Yeah.
with Joe Rogan in the ring.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird, but
weird times.
Weird times. What else do our listeners care about that we should talk about?
Yeah, is there anything we need to circle back on?
No.
Let's see.
I feel like we need to get out of this episode before something else goes wrong. That's my That's my thought. It's been like an hour. We've been talking for about an hour.
Listen, there's been some changes.
Yeah.
We're going to YouTube. We're making videos.
We're going to do some videos, yeah. This will be smoother next time.
We're learning.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come along and adjust with us, because life's a mission.
Bye.